going on, everybody? Welcome to the RBS Cinema podcast.
I know Kung Fu. Show me.
This is Sparta! I'm thinking I'm back.
Why so serious?
Avengers!
Assemble. I'm Batman.
You better lawyer up, asshole. Because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
I'll be back.
You shall not pass!
RBS.
Lovely.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome to RBS Cinema. This week we decided to talk about Sleepy Hollow. Reason being is because that it is Kat's birthday. But by the time this comes out, it will be past her birthday.
Sorry.
Because one of us forgot to actually be here for that.
They didn't tell me about it all week, and I completely forgot about it.
It's a lie.
No, it's not.
It is a lie, because I remember telling you that early on in the week.
One day. They told me one day. Normally, they tell me every day about how excited they are.
Yeah.
And then this week, they just said one day, and then that was a Monday, and then the rest, it was just
coasting. So, but before we talk about Sleepy Hollow, I'm your host, Devin. With me, I have my co-host, Sam, over there, and then returning guest, Kat, because this being her birthday episode, we decided to talk about one of her favorite movies, Sleepy Hollow. Explain why you wanted to talk about Sleepy Hollow for your birthday.
Well, first big question. Have either of you been to Sleepy Hollow?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful and the fool. But no, so Sleepy Hollow is one of my favorite movies because I actually studied literature in college, and Sleepy Hollow being Washington Irving's big story. He is the founding father of American literature. Fun fact, Devin here thought Sleepy Hollow was written by the Brothers Grimm for a moment. He came up to me and talked about it.
Well, it is a dark story, so my initial thought was that it was written by the Brothers Grimm, because they did a lot of dark storytelling of that nature. So to me, that's just where my head went. So not off.
To be fair, though, Brothers Grimm has there you go. They have a lot of dark stories, and in European tales, it's called the Duladon, I believe. The Headless Horseman is called the Duladon. Mm-hmm. So it's a common mistake.
Interesting. So basically, you wanted to talk about this movie because you have such an attachment to the story, not necessarily the movie so much.
Oh, it's both. I love Johnny Depp.
Well, yeah, but it's only extended more because of the movie.
Oh yes.
So
It's a finger to the hand that is her love of Sleepy Hollow.
right.
There you go. Exactly. So, but yeah, no, it was actually the first Johnny Depp movie I ever saw. I was a little kid, and it popped up for Halloween, I think a year after it came out in theaters on TV. And I just remember seeing the scene where the Headless Horseman attacks the family. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, whoa. And my mom came in, she's like, turn that off now. You're not allowed to be watching that.
Oh, good old adolescence of being like, leave the room.
So
when something scary or provocative came on.
And
Shut your eyes.
Yeah, here's the crazy part. Later on, not even a year after that, she showed me Lake Placid as a reward for eating my dinner. Yeah. I was like, Mom, are you sure this movie is kid friendly? She's like, no,
Is that the one with crocodiles?
Yeah, it's the one big old alligator and Betty White just feeding the alligator.
Yeah, John was asking us about that. He goes have you ever seen Lake Placid? I was like, no. He goes you being a movie guy, you've never seen Lake Placid.
Anaconda wannabe.
Yeah. And
It is, basically.
so he showed us this clip of Betty White talking about how she killed her husband. But it was actually the alligator that ate him or something like that, if I remember.
Yeah, the horse was getting too close to the water, and he ran out to get it, and the gator grabbed him instead. I was like,
yeah. So before we go any further, basically just a quick rundown of what we do for the show. Essentially what we do is we'll talk about specifically what the movie is about, so just the plot. Then we will talk about taglines, what our favorite parts are about the movie, and then by the end of it, we will give our consensus on it being a rent, buy, or a skip. Hence the reason why this is called RBS Cinema. And then we'll talk about suggestive people being like a 1 or a 10 or sometimes both score on IMDb. And then we will have that open up discussion about suggestive people giving either the right or the wrong opinion. So,
anyone who hates this movie is giving me the wrong opinion. So there we go. That's it.
well, my wife is also a big Johnny Depp fan, and she even said, like, after I got done watching it, she goes like, how would you like the movie? I said, well, it's not my first time watching it. It's been years since I've seen it, but it's not my favorite, like, Johnny Depp movie. And it's also not my favorite Tim Burton movie either. And so she goes like, yeah, like, her being a big Johnny Depp fan, she goes like, it's not my favorite either. It's a good movie, but it's not necessarily like a movie that I would put on all the time.
I can admit that Johnny Depp's movies have progressed over the years, and this is one of his earlier films, like Edward Scissorhand, and it's probably like such a big movie in pop culture.
Yeah,
it's probably one of my least favorite Johnny Depp movies or Tim Burton movies. I'm not saying I hate it; it's just not my favorite. So I can, like, if you watch Johnny Depp over the years, you clearly, especially when he hit Pirates of the Caribbean, that's when he got a, like, that's
when he shot up in popularity.
Yeah,
especially for like modern audiences now, where like it was funny because like after I got done watching this movie and everything, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw on rankers.com that they had like this list of like Johnny Depp movies that are like bad.
Oh no.
And one of them was Sleepy Hollow was not on that list, but Dark Shadows was.
Really?
All of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies were as well. And so she goes like, okay, you can't really consider all of the Pirates movies to be bad because like of the time that they're in. Like, they're good for the time, not good for 2025. So like Pirates, what, the first one came out in like 2006, 2007 or something like that?
I think it came out in 2002 actually. Yeah, it's
2003.
Like, or 2003.
Yeah. So it's like early 2000s movie, so it's all like you can't compare it to a 2025 movie being now, like,
we just got Snow White, and you're telling us that Curse of the Black Pearl.
No, it's not just a giant list comprised of like a bunch of different movies. It's just a bunch of different movies that have Johnny Depp in them. Yeah. So, and like the last one on the list was like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's all like, okay, that's a cult classic. You can't really consider that one to be a bad movie.
Yeah.
Because like it's just a cult classic of a Johnny Depp movie. So you can't really say, oh, that's a bad movie. It's like, it's not a bad movie.
I think
you can say, I don't really understand the movie, but it's also because like the whole movie is about him being on drugs.
But that's the one that's shot in black and white, right?
No.
Oh, okay, no.
No, I know that there was one.
I love Chocolat. That's a great movie.
Yeah. Which I did actually see something about that recently. But yeah, like she was looking through the list. She goes like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like Mordecai. Yeah, like, because she saw that one, she goes like, that was all right. Like, it's not his best, whatever. But it's definitely having the feel of being like, well, you can't really consider these movies like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like, okay, maybe the last one isn't that good.
Oh,
like the last, like the first three, sure, you could say that those are really good Pirates movies. Mm-hmm. But the last one, sure, you could say that it fell off. The fourth one, it's debatable. That one's up in the air. But it's like the first three are actually really, really good.
The first three really help explain the lore, and like, because normally movies, I think, sequels are unnecessary, but the other two after the first one really helped explain just the lore a little bit more, because it talked a lot about how Will Turner's dad, even though because he was cursed, he sank to the bottom of the ocean. And like, my thought was like, oh, if he was cursed, so he's not dead, he's still alive this whole time, what happened to him? And then they answered that question in the second movie. So
yeah, because it's not about Jack Sparrow. The first one is, but after that it's no longer about him. Like, he is the main character throughout the whole franchise, but the story is not just about him. Like, and I know that at some point we were supposed to, if not still, getting a Jack Sparrow origin, either movie or show, but I don't know if that's still gonna happen, or
I heard they were gonna make a movie that involved his daughter, and everyone's like, no. And I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
But back to Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, back
Yeah.
to Sleepy Hollow.
Back to this movie. So, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So, the very short plot of this movie is about Ichabod Crane is sent to Sleepy Hollow to investigate the trying to
Murders.
say this, the decapitation of 3 people. The culprit is legendary apparition, the Headless Horseman. And then we got director Tim Burton, of course. We got writers Washington Irving, Kevin Yeager, and Andrew Kevin Walker. And, of course, got the cast. Not going through everybody that was in the movie, but at least getting the big heavy hitters. Of course, we got Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci, Miranda Richardson, Michael Gambon, Casper Van Dien, Jeffrey Jones, Richard Griffiths, Ian McDermott, Michael Gogh, who I just now realize is Alfred from the Batman series. Because looking at this picture of him on IMDb,
Oh, he was.
so I didn't realize
I
that.
didn't know that. Yeah, that's
So,
really cool.
And Christopher Walken,
I could have used a little more cowbell.
oh yeah, that was
who
that-
plays as the Headless Horseman. So,
What part of sudden death did you not understand?
I want
and
more cowbell.
also wanted
Sorry,
to
he hates
shout
that. So if he sees this, I doubt he
Yeah.
does it. But
shout out to Christopher Walken, but also shout out to Christopher Lee, who's also in this for a short
He's
Very
few
short.
minute scene.
yeah, he's the judge.
So-
and he got a full title, his name got into the full title and everything.
Wait,
I was like,
didn't
good
he-
for you.
Quick
Yeah.
side note, didn't he die recently?
Christopher Lee, he
2013.
did die, but not recently.
He died 10 years ago.
Was it 10?
About
Something like that.
Yeah, I think he died right after the Hobbit film.
Somebody died recently, and I'm forgetting who they are.
Oh, it was
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer and
yeah.
Gene
Yep.
Hackman. Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
died.
yeah.
R.I.P. to them.
I will say this movie's interesting because when you start it, you realize that half the cast of Harry Potter's in it.
Yeah, I realized that. I was all like, wait,
This
most
guy's-
of these people are in Harry Potter.
Yeah, it was
so,
pretty funny.
But yes, the film came out in '99, which it did win some awards here. Yeah, because it won a slew of awards. Won 28 wins and 44 nominations. Not going to go through the whole list, but it was nominated for Best Horror Film for 2000. Because, of course, when you have a film that comes out from the year prior, the year after, so because it came out in 99, in 2000 it was nominated and awarded for different awards. Because, of course, that's how the Oscars are and everything. So, okay. And here I got a few taglines to actually pretty much what taglines are or do is entice people to actually come and watch the movie that are on the poster. So it's all like this one, for example, who will it come for next? Being the Headless Horseman, because you don't know why the Headless Horseman is there, who he's killing, why he's doing it, all that stuff. Next one is watch your head.
Oh, that was one of my favorite lines
So,
from the villain.
which is actually
Watch your head.
pretty on par with this movie. Next one is I don't really know if
That's
it's
German.
in German. Okay.
That's German.
Which is just heads will roll, which again and
That's
they
a
also
big
have it
phrase.
translated into English just by itself. Next one is beware. So okay. It's Sleepy Hollow. Beware of what? Don't know. Close your eyes, say your prayers, sleep if you can.
I like that one.
Which is very interesting because they do sleep.
He came
So,
at night. He came
yeah.
at night. That's the whole thing. And
Right.
no one knew who
Because
was next.
they would be on the lookout for the Headless Horseman, and then they would at night be on more guard because that's when he would attack the village. And then you can lock the doors, you can bolt the windows, but can you survive the night? Again, another allusion to him attacking at night. So, and do we have anything else besides talking about the movie specific?
Well, what I like about talking about Sleepy Hollow, like everybody's making changes to movies nowadays, or like books. This is a great example of how just changing, like something minor. Like they still have the whole story, but what they did is they changed Ichabod's background. Here he's a detective, not a teacher, and he also wins the heart of Katrina and helps them solve the mystery. While in the book, he he wasn't even trying to, but he fell for her right away. In the book, he's trying, and she's kind of a tease in the book, and Brom. Everyone suspects him the whole time. Even at the end, it's hinted that Brom was the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
And what I loved about this one is he played the prank of being the Headless Horseman and showed that it was him. So they did play on that fact in this movie. So that's what I really like about this one. There's a lot of homage to the book.
Yeah, because like obviously there is the whole urban myth of the Headless Horseman actually being real, and especially in Sleepy Hollow, now they just play off of that to be, I would assume, like a yearly thing.
Oh, it's huge.
So,
they have a huge Halloween parade.
Yeah.
And the Headless Horseman leads it. It's so cool. And a fun fact, if you decide to get married in Sleepy Hollow, you can actually get married at the cemetery, which is where it's believed the Headless Horseman is buried. And you can have the Headless Horseman walk you down the aisle.
Interesting.
It was really cool. There was a lot of people who talked about it. So a lot of fun there.
Yeah. And because then you've also got the whole thing of, I don't know, I forgot what it was. I did want to ask, God, I did want to ask, when was the first time that you guys watched this?
2000, like I said, a year after it came out.
Okay.
And I saw it on TV, and my mother saw it and just turned it off. I was like, what was that? And that was when my love of horror movies began.
Sam?
Probably high school.
High school?
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
I think it was also high school for me too. Because like, I didn't really
So we're
pay
talking, like,
that much
2009, 10.
attention. Because like I didn't pay that much attention to movies. Because it's kind of like with me with music. It's like, okay, I know this song, I just don't know who it's by or what it's called.
So I would have been 8 then. I would have been 8.
But yet, like, same thing for movies. It's like, oh yeah, like I recognize this movie or I recognize this show, but I don't remember who was in it or what it was called. I just recognize who they are. It's like, oh yeah, that's the guy from whatever. Well, because this is your birthday episode, which, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
You
birthday.
will you will be taking the reins for this episode because it is your birthday episode. It is your birthday movie. So, you can start wherever you'd like. You can lead the discussion.
All right, well, let's just start off that without this story in general, Sleepy Hollow would have just been an ordinary little town.
Yeah.
So the story really helped bring to life this town. It practically runs off the legend. You go there, there's a place in Sleepy Hollow called the Headless Horseman Bagel. Like everything's Headless Horseman this, Headless Horseman that. It's not bad at all. This cap I actually got at Beekman's Ale House, which is in Sleepy Hollow, is one of their famous pizzerias. So yeah, and of course everyone is wearing their Headless Horseman shirts on all the businesses. And so no, it's so if go in the fall, it's incredible. It's life changing. I know it sounds so cheap to say, but it's like no, it really is. And so and Tim Burton, he brought the book helped bring attention to the town.
Yeah.
But the movie brought the popularity.
Nope.
And the movie, Tim Burton's movie, brought the popularity to the modern time.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot of iterations of this movie, but the 3 most popular one are Disney's Adventures with Ichabod and Mr. Toad. They actually started I believe, Washington Irving event after that. And Bing Crosby, the famous Bing Crosby, a.k.a. Father Christmas, sang for the movie, sang the famous song, The Headless Horseman. So it was a great one. And then, of course, Tim Burton's changes to Sleepy Hollow. That one was big. And the third one is actually the TV series that started in 2013, Sleepy Hollow. And that one is fantastic. I don't know if you know this. One of the characters in it is... He's from Lord of the Rings. He's Boromir and Faramir's dad. The one that gives us the...
Sean Bean?
No, not Sean Bean. Sean Bean is Boromir. But he's the one that does that weird tomato eating scene that everyone mocks.
Come, sing me a song.
So
You know,
he's in
I've
that.
never seen Lord of the Rings, so... And me being a big movie guy, I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh, that one's huge. Okay.
I do... It is on my list of movies to watch, but I do aim to actually watch it.
It's gonna be...
So.
It's fantastic. But he's in it, and he plays a huge character, and I won't give any spoilers since you guys haven't seen it. But yeah, no. This is America's first ghost story, which is why I think it is so big. It's just a great movie. And sure, it didn't launch Johnny Depp like it did for Pirates of the Caribbean, but it got him out of that career. What was that police TV series he was in?
21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street. It got him out of that. Tim Burton helped him.
Well, yeah,
But
because
yeah.
like Tim Burton pretty much like helped him launch his movie career because like
It was Edward Scissorhands.
ever since like he's been in movies, like he's always been doing that. Like with Tim Burton, because like the first movie that he was in was Nightmare Before Christmas, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep, he had a little part and he was killed in it.
Yeah. And then also on that list of like bad Johnny Depp movies, like they considered the third Nightmare on Elm Street movie to be a bad movie, and it's all like,
Have I seen that one?
if he was in it, it was a cameo, and even then, it's all like you can't really consider him to be in the movie if he's not a pivotal character in it.
Yeah.
So it's all like, what's the point of having that on your list if it's like a cameo or like a freaking like a scene that they never used or whatever the fact. It's all like you can't really consider that to be one of Johnny Depp's worst movies that he's been in. So like,
What do the lawyers call that? They call that special case.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
So I don't know.
It's like not really like integral, but supplementary kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you also have Christina Ricci, who I adore. She is America's goth girl, and I was told myself if I could play God, I would have had. I know it's weird to think, but I would have had Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci end up together because I just thought they were such a cute couple because of this movie. And Christina and Johnny always said it was weird being a couple in this movie because I've known her since she was like 9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's-
he's basically like watched her grow up.
Yeah,
And
so-
like I think there's been like several times that they've been in movies together where they both play as like the love interest.
This is the only one I can think of, but they where they first met was on Mermaid, I think the movie's called, and she plays the younger sister. Oh gosh, Beetlejuice star, the girl.
Winona Ryder.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Winona Ryder.
Yeah, Winona Ryder. She was dating Johnny Depp, I believe, at the time, and that's how they met.
Yeah.
So
A
and
lot of people thought that they were going to end up together.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they ended up
That
breaking
was a
up.
lot closer.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because like there's certain chemistry that you could see between two actors on screen, like Robert Pattinson and Christina. Yeah, Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's all like that whole thing, and it's all like, yeah, and then after their first or two movies, then it's like, okay, now they are actually together and they make it public and stuff. And it's kind of like right now with Tom Holland and Zendaya. Like now they're a big ticket item.
they're engaged, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Oh
engaged.
yeah.
So it's like that whole thing. And it was the same thing for like Anna Faris and Chris Pratt. And then they ended up getting divorced. And now it's like Chris Pratt and Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter.
Oh yeah.
So, and so I remember seeing this interview that Chris Pratt was having that he got asked like, how is it having your father-in-law be Arnold Schwarzenegger? And he goes like, it's very intimidating because of course you got Mr. Olympia, who's your father-in-law, and he goes like talking about how whenever they would go over and they would see Arnold and stuff like that, like he would always want to smoke a stogie with Chris, and and all that stuff. And he goes like, and I can't because I have asthma. So, but he'll indulge and he'll actually do it for a short time. And of course, Arnold, being a big chess player, he'll also play chess with him. And he goes like, I've beaten him like once out of like the 100 times that we've played together. So, but knowing that dynamic is actually like really interesting to me. Because it's all like, yeah, I know that they're acting, they're supposed to play love interests and stuff like that, and
They do such a good job.
Yeah.
Like, I bought it as a kid. Like, these two, are they dating in real life? They're such a cute couple.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the big Google questions. If you type in, is Christina Ricci, and they'll say, dating Johnny Depp. So I was like, oh. But yeah, and there's a scene where they're about to kiss, and like, pardon my intrusion, but you need to see this. And they actually wanted that because they were like, I can't kiss him. I can't kiss her. So
yeah, because like it's very awkward to literally see somebody grow up into being either a young man or a young woman, and then you're supposed to play off of their love interest, and then it's all like, this is awkward. Like,
yeah,
I can't do this.
I imagine it was awkward for them, but they pulled it off so well. I was blown away by it. So. But yeah, and then who else was it? Well, Christopher Lee made it a fabulous judge. So, but yeah, there's a big sound clip of him on TikTok if you go on TikTok during the fall, it'll say there's a town, 2 days journey to the north in the Hudson Isles. Like, that quote is in it, and everyone will put all their Halloween stuff on it, like their fall stuff, and celebrate it.
There is a town upstate, 2 days' journey to the north in the Hudson Highlands. It is a place called Sleepy Hollow.
Using Christopher Lee's quote, and it's just...
Yeah. Yeah, because like a few things that I really liked was, of course, it being a Tim Burton joint, because of course it's classic Tim Burton.
Oh, gosh.
And of course with Tim Burton, you get Danny Elfman, so the Danny Elfman score was also on point.
Yeah, the music is definitely a big,
so,
big point for me.
Because like Danny Elfman just has that bravado of being creepy and eerie, but still like
He plays on your emotional
angelic sound. Because like even with all the movies that him and Tim Burton have done together, like they pretty much just play off of each other, because Tim Burton does like the really dark, gritty, horror-esque movies, versus Danny Elfman will also elevate it to be a lot more creepier than it actually is. But in the beginning,
from like 95 to like 2008, he was just owning it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That was definitely his John Williams time period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because there were so many foreboding, dark
Oh my gosh,
stories.
he made it big for Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
Like that one, that one's still one of his top soundtracks. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like in the beginning, I liked that the Scarecrow kind of looks like Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King aesthetic to it, because of course with every Tim Burton movie you have to reference either Beetlejuice or Nightmare Before Christmas.
He does a great job. Yeah.
Well, it depends on like whatever comes out. So it's like, okay, Beetlejuice hasn't come out yet, or it has, so like do a subtle reference to it, or Nightmare Before Christmas, it's like, okay, well, we'll make a subtle reference to Jack Skellington. So
I think the dress at the end of the movie, it's that Katrina is wearing as they get out of the carriage and are now seeing the beautiful New York, is supposed to be called the Victorian Beetlejuice dress. So it was
because like now that you mention that, because I do remember at the end she's wearing the black and white striped dress, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a subtle nod to Beetlejuice. Because like of his suit that he wears.
And that's another thing. I also love Tim Burton. He starts all his movies off super creepy and everything, but then at the very end, he has this way of turning darkness into light. Like, you know, the movie, it's all black, it's rainy.
Yeah, throughout the whole course of the movie, it's like black and white, emphasis with like red for blood, like being splattered all over the place or and whatever, and then by the end of it,
It's white.
it's all
beautiful.
white colored, and it's like it's still dark
Yeah.
and like gray and stuff, but like
But-
it's because it's like
It's
you know
livelier.
1800s
It's
time,
livelier.
Yeah.
Is the word you're looking
So,
for. It's
there's-
not dead.
right?
There's this thing, I can't remember what the term is called, but in literature there's a way to have where you can use the background to tell you where the character is going. So obviously in the beginning of the movie you see this it's rainy, it's dark, it's gloomy, you see the creepy pumpkin before the headless horseman comes, and you know something's not right. It's thundering, it's like making loud sounds. At the end of the movie it's white, there's many people, it's beautiful, and there's joyous music going around. So like I love how Tim Burton does that in almost all his movies. So.
Yeah,
And how they blend outward at the end. Like,
yeah,
and you'll probably show the clip of that where like it just shows like they're just going into the crowd. It's just like, oh, what used to be a super highly focused group of people in this movie is now we're just back to normal.
Oh, God bless. But yeah,
It's cool.
but
Like-
yeah, we'll cut to a clip of that real quick. So
The Bronx is up, the battery's down, and home is this way.
but yeah, and then like because then you get the headless horseman story and stuff. So
I love that. It's so weird seeing Christopher Walken as the headless horseman.
yeah, I forgot about that because like I remember when I was watching it that like he was wearing contacts, his hair's all poofed up and
Fangs.
spiked up, and like he's wearing fangs for
That you
teeth.
filed down his teeth. It's
And then he doesn't.
Sharp points.
He never talks. He only like
Grunts
yells
or
and
grunts.
grunts. That's it. Like that to me, because like I'm pretty sure it has to do with the fact of his speaking voice.
I wouldn't be able to, if he spoke, I wouldn't have been able to take him serious. Like, I'm
No.
gonna cut you off your head.
Yeah,
gonna
it's
take
like,
it.
and plus it's all like the headless horseman doesn't really need to talk because like
He doesn't
his
have a
head's
head.
gone anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But like even when he was alive, it's all like, well, what does he have to say? Like, is he gonna
just
be
a
like,
violent man.
yeah? It's all like,
A
well,
violent
what are we gonna
mercenary
do?
German.
So I'm glad that Tim Burton directed Christopher Walken to be like, okay, you're not gonna talk, but you will grunt and yell and everything like that, but you just won't talk. It's
Just
like,
imagine
okay,
giving him lines. Like, you know what? Let's just not have you talk at all.
yeah, like I think that would have been really funny, but it also could have been that like he probably couldn't talk with the prosthetic teeth
Oh.
in his mouth anyway, because I know that in certain times to where like if you're wearing a sort of prosthetic in your teeth or like on your face or anything like that, like you can't really talk. So it's like the biggest example that I can think of off the top of my head is like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
It's like you have them wearing these big, huge heads, and so like they're just like moving the mouths. So I don't think that they're actually talking. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
They're dubbed
but
in.
yeah, it's like they're 80 yard.
Kodak moment.
So, but yeah, then you've got which I really liked was Johnny riding the horse later on
Oh,
for the first time.
Oh,
Like
the horsey.
he when he gets on the horse and stuff. So because pretty much what happens is that like in the movie it's turning into the 1800s, so they're turning into a new century, and Johnny Depp is a detective, and so he's trying to bring science into the world that makes their job a lot easier to actually find killers and stuff.
He's the
Instead of-
cutting edge.
Yeah, instead of going like, hey, this guy broke in, okay, throw him in the cell. And it's all like, okay, like this guy murdered 3 women, okay, like throw him in the cell. It's all like, but I didn't. And it's all like, okay, Johnny Depp is the one that's going to be like, well, let's try to find out why,
Yeah, and
or find out
This
who
footprint,
actually did
this
it.
footprint is muddy. He isn't even wearing this boot pattern.
Right, exactly. Like,
and I think that's because in the movie his mother was murdered by his father for a reason that, because she was just drawing in the ashes of their fireplace.
Yeah.
And he
And he
immediately accused
thought it
her
was
of
like
witchcraft.
witchcraft, yeah.
And he's like, you didn't even listen to her. You just killed her. So I think I really like how Johnny Depp's like, it's not something you think about.
Yeah.
But that is his whole reason for being the way he is. And another thing I like about is that people they don't like they mock him, but the judge still gives him a chance to prove himself using his inventions.
Yeah.
He's not like the Sherlock Holmes, like he's a brilliant mastermind and everything. He can do anything. No, he's kind of crazy, but he does make a point. We need to. I'll give him this one chance.
Yeah.
And so that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, because like they basically go like, okay, well, we'll let you go to this town that's 2 days ride, and because like there's mysterious killings happening. There's 3 right now that we know of, and it's like you go there, you investigate, and I would probably say it was because like they're tired of his shit pretty much, so they're like, oh yeah, go over here and go and investigate this small town.
He always questions them, thus they're annoyed by him, thus let me send you away.
Yeah. And so, like, he even says, like, oh, we're turning a new century, so we need to be able to do more things, more scientifically proven things. Instead of just going like, yeah, this guy did it, so throw him away. And then it's all like, no, like, we can't keep doing this anymore. So he's actually willing to change the way that they operate, but nobody else is listening because it's like, well, we've been doing this for, like, a really long time, so why does it matter now? Type of thing.
Tim Burton actually was going to make... And Johnny Depp, he was going to make him be more courageous, you know, kind of like I don't know, I'm trying to think of a movie character that would fit, but he was going to make him more of a cop, kind of like, you know, a tough, not tough, but more, I guess courageous is the right word. And Johnny said, I think he would be better off as a bit of a coward, because in the book he was a bit of a coward. So I like how he's like, just, you know, he's still brave. Like he says, I faced my fears, and I'm determined to find the horseman's grave. So like he's a believable coward.
Yeah, because
right?
like
how he gets scared by a spider.
Yeah, it's
Being
the
courageous
certain
doesn't make you a coward.
Yeah,
you can be a coward and still be courageous. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
there you go.
Because like Johnny Depp had the certain charisma of being like brave but still being kind of like a scaredy cat, like being awkward and stuff like that, because like throughout this whole movie that's just how he is. He's like super awkward. Like I'd probably say that he's kind of like a shut-in, because like he doesn't really like be around a lot of people.
He works on his inventions.
Yeah, because like he's very awkward. He doesn't really know how to talk to people a whole lot. He's very like direct when he talks to people, but he's very awkward about it.
I think that's also because of his childhood too, his character's childhood.
Right.
So it makes sense. He's not just a shut-in because he's a shut-in. He's a shut-in because his dad murdered his mom to save her soul.
Yeah.
And he found her body, and that would scar anyone. So and he still looks at his marks on his hands. He still like plays with them and everything like that. And I love that little.
Yeah, because like we find all that stuff out by like his dreams, because like he still has these nightmares about his mom and stuff, and because like it's not directly going like, okay, like this is his like origin, like this is him growing up. Like no, the only flashbacks we get of his childhood and his mom and everything like that is through his dreams.
So he loved his mom.
And the only time that we see these is like when he passes out.
Yeah.
So like he's not going to bed and go like, okay, it's sleep time, and then like goes to sleep, and then like he only has them when he passes out due to fear or shock and stuff.
He did have one was a dream.
Yeah.
And he woke up because it turned into a nightmare. But
yeah.
I loved how his father and one of his nightmares turned into the headless horseman.
Yeah.
And so
because
like,
now that's what he's facing now, and now he has to confront that.
Yeah.
That's always interesting to me. But I did write down one of the lines. So it's like what, the 4th time that the headless horseman kills somebody. Like they find the body.
Oh, okay.
And so I have it written down. It's like the head is removed to identify the body. They know who it is. Because
I know which line you're talking about.
Yeah, so like they're talking about like why did they remove the head? It's like the head is to identify who it is.
Yeah, but we know it's John. What was his? But we know it's John. Exactly. So why was the head removed?
Yeah.
The head is removed to
identify the body. They know. It's like they know who it is, and then it's like, then why? It's like, then why was it removed? Why? Right.
But we know this was Jonathan Nesbitt.
Precisely. So why was the head removed?
Why?
Right.
And so it's all like he's
Oh goodness.
he's asking them why was the head removed, and they have no idea why. And so it's like that whole awkward interaction, but still like wanting to like ask the question of going like, okay, well, why was it removed? And it's all like, to identify the body. Exactly. And it's like that whole thing. And then he asks like, was this the original place where the body was? And he goes like, no, I moved it. He was like, why would you move the body?
You must never remove the body.
Yeah. And he goes like, so I have that also written down because it's all within the same sequence. It's like, you moved the body? I did. You must never, he goes like, I did. You must never move the body. Why not? Because. And then just walks away.
Because.
You have moved the body?
I did.
You must never move the body.
Why not?
Because.
And like he doesn't give that explanation. It's like because that's evidence, and like we need to know specifically where the body lay to rest, so that way we know specifically where the like where the killing happened.
Yeah.
And then he goes off onto this tangent of going like, okay, well, the horseman was on horseback and he was riding this way, and then he turned around and then he went back to the body and goes like, but why? And so it's like to like grab the head essentially.
I like this movie because it kind of reminds me of the TV series Bones.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it, like how they like he does that, all that detective work. I really like that.
Yeah, and then later he talks to one of the councilmen of the town.
Oh.
And he goes like, oh, there's 3 bodies, but there's supposed to be 4.
No, he was not the 4th, but the 5th.
Yeah.
The 5th.
And
5 bodies and 4 graves.
yeah.
I love that line. That's a great line.
And then he deduces that the woman that died had a child.
Oh, was with child, yes.
And then he undigs the graves and then brings her body to the mortuary to start investigating. And so because he finds her blouse and a cut in it, and so finds that there's a cut in her belly. So he goes like, oh, okay. Now he goes to the mortuary and then like goes to investigate and like cut her open and stuff. So that to me was actually pretty awesome, like detective work, because it's all like, okay, like this makes sense for him to actually cut her open and stuff.
Yeah.
So and the fact that whenever he would like looking at the book, trying to make an incision, looks at the book, and then he makes one incision with one of his inventions, and then just immediately squirts blood onto it. And then then it just cuts to the door, and then him opening it, and he's just covered in blood.
I am finished.
And then they're like, okay, well, what'd you find out? And he goes like, yeah, she was with child.
Oh man.
And like that's the whole reason why that the horseman like stabbed her in the gut, was because like he wanted to make sure that the child was dead as well. Yeah. So
well, crazy thing, if you cut the mom's head off,
the child should also
the child will
surely
eventually die.
But he wanted to be thorough, and it's like, you know what?
Well, we also find out why he's that thorough later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's Christopher Walken's.
Yeah.
I can't do
and I also love the fact that like you would also see Christopher Walken like portraying the Headless Horseman like in the
oh no,
I'm drawing a blank on what it's called now.
Is it a TV show?
No. Through God, now I have no idea what the hell it's called. Yeah, I don't remember now.
Details anyway.
It's not backstory. It's what is it? I don't remember now. God damn it. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he reprises that role.
Yeah. Cause like God, that's gonna bug me.
You can look it up real quick if you want.
No. It's a specific word to like give emphasis on like what happened previously. Kind of like the whole thing with Johnny Depp with his dreaming and stuff like that.
Oh, I think I know what word you're thinking of. Crap.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not premonition, not
No.
flashback.
Flashback.
Oh, flashback.
But yeah, like we would see Christopher Walken through flashbacks of him actually being the horseman. He wasn't the headless horseman yet. And then
He was the Hessian.
yeah. And then they told the story about him of how he would ride into battle on horseback and just cut the heads of his victims off. And it wasn't just random killings. It would just be him being in war and he would just cut everybody's heads off.
And I do like
So-
his flashback. We get a glimpse of the villain. Yeah.
Slashback, I like it.
Flashback.
You know what? No, we're keeping it. I like
Yeah.
it. Slashback.
But yeah,
that's
and
funny.
but yeah, we do get a glimpse of the villain, and spoiler, I doubt you haven't seen it, but so those who haven't, but what her origin story is basically for her villain arc. So, but yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, the other thing that I really liked was like the headless horseman scene of when he's just like chasing down Johnny Depp.
Oh,
And like at night, it's not really the headless horseman. It's actually like,
it's Brom.
yeah, it's Braun, because like when he gets to town, he goes to what is it, like the town hall?
Or he gets to the Van Tassel Manor.
Yeah. And so like they're having this party and stuff like that. And so like
That was also in the book, so that's
yeah.
pretty cool.
And then Christina Ricci is like a bunch of like,
The Picky
I want to
Bunch.
say it's like men are around her. And so like she's blindfolded, so they're all spinning around her, and so she's also spinning as well. And so it's all like she is supposed to catch you and then kiss you. And so then you're supposed to be what, infected by the witch or something like that, I would imagine. But Johnny Depp like walks through, and then so she catches him, and then she kisses him on the cheek. And then Braun is supposed to be like her boyfriend, essentially, and so he gets all jealous and wanted to kick his ass. So then that's them playing a joke of the headless horseman tracking him down, and the fact that he has like the flaming pumpkin head, and he throws it at Johnny, and like then it just like breaks on his head. So, but also again the fact that it looks like the Jack Skellington pumpkin head.
I love that skeleton or that pumpkin design. My other favorite part is with the witch in the woods. That's actually the villain's sister who helps them. And I love how she tells them where to find the rhyme to tell them where to find the horseman. You seek the warrior inked in blood, the headless horseman. Follow the Indian trail to where the sun dies, up to the tree of the dead, climb down to the horseman's resting place. And I just love how they delivered that. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that was actually on my list too, was like that the quote unquote witch tells him like where the grave is and stuff. And then also like the big synonymous thing with the movie is like not just the headless horseman, but also the tree where his grave is, because of how twisted up it is, how dead it is, and like how of course like tall and
There's no life in
like
it.
how it just looks is
And it's a
iconic.
gateway.
Yeah, like just the way that it looks is iconic. And they actually go there, and they were cutting the roots at the bottom because like it's off on like a little cliff or off on like a little hill. So it starts cutting it, and then it starts squirting blood as well. I was like, okay, that's actually really cool. And then come to find out that it's just like on the behind all the roots is like a bunch of the heads that he has cut off.
Oh, I know.
And it's all like, damn, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But it just turns out that that's not actually why the heads are there. Like
Yeah.
it's a gateway for him to come back.
And then the end with the villain, her hand is out like that, and she just.
Yeah, because then by the end of the movie we find out that like it's Christina Ricci's like stepmom that's actually controlling the horsemen,
And she's
because
a witch.
yeah, and so she's actually a witch, and like
And she played it off so good. I never, when I first saw it, did not suspect her. I actually thought it was Christina's father for a moment. I actually thought it was one of the guys.
I think that it was supposed to be alluding to like one of the country, not the countrymen, but like one of the councilmen or like owners of the town is supposed to be like controlling the horsemen somehow, some way. And so it's kind of like a whodunit detective type of
Clue.
like movie.
It's Clue.
Right.
It's a game of Clue.
Yeah. And so it's like you're trying to find out like who's pulling the strings, but then each one of them dies. So it's all like, okay, well, who's freaking doing this then? Yeah. And then it's making you believe like, oh God, maybe nobody is controlling the horsemen. Maybe it's just the horsemen coming back for revenge for some odd reason or whatever. But no, it just turns out that she's controlling him because she has his head. So, and that's what he's looking for is his head. But like when she has him come back, she goes like, okay, go and kill this person.
Oh yeah. Rise up, my dark warrior. Rise up once more. But yeah, no. There was one flaw that I found in the movie that kind of still drives me mad because she killed the Van Garretts, so their fortune would be going to the next of kin, which is the Van Tassels.
Yeah.
And so she had to off her husband, and so she kills the Van Garretts. Technically, it goes to the widow. She kills the widow. Then the fortune goes to them, and then she had to kill her husband, and then she dies, fakes her death, and all the fortune goes to the daughter. And she says, I get everything in the event of your death. But people already think you're dead.
Yeah.
So how's that going to work?
Right.
That was the big flaw. I'm like, wait. Back up.
Yeah, if people think that you're already dead, how are you supposed to
get the fortune? Inherit
everything.
She could have come back and said that somebody faked my death and I killed that person and then they were the conspirator.
Yeah. Because like
it was actually Sarah the whole dang time.
Oh yeah.
Because think about
I always
it.
Thought she was useless.
They thought that Sarah was her.
Yeah.
But in reality, she could go back and be like, no.
And that's the crazy part. She said Sarah ran away, and little did we realize Sarah was already dead.
Yeah.
So that was mind blowing. But
right.
Also, Sarah has terrible taste in men at the beginning of the film. That was just weird and creepy.
Yeah.
But that's also how she was able to blackmail Sarah and one of the town's councilmen. So, yucky.
Yeah. But yeah, and then by the end of it, like the horseman gets his head back, which I thought was actually really cool because like
that whole transformation scene.
Yeah, because like Johnny Depp and like the stepmom, like they're fighting over the bag with the head in it, and so the head falls out, and the horseman finally grabs it and puts it on, and then that whole sequence of everything coming back with the flesh and veins and all that bunch of stuff like coming back onto the head. It's like that was actually really cool. And then he actually just grabs the stepmom, puts her on horseback, and then like also makes out with her.
Oh yeah,
and
that
then,
was
like,
scary a little bit.
And I still remember that when I was a kid of being like, that was super weird because of how sharp his teeth are, it would just like cut into her mouth, and like that's why like it was all bloody and stuff. And then him like screaming and then just going back into underneath the tree to go back to hell and just to finally be at rest. Yeah. So.
But one thing I did like, I really liked how they used his sword as his grave marker. Like it's supposed to be a tombstone, but it's basically
like this is where his grave is.
I love that. So.
Yeah, because then they cut it off. Like they cut his head off with his sword.
Yeah, with his own.
And then that's where like he was laid to rest and stuff. Yeah, and it's like, well, you cut off like other people's heads, so now we'll cut your head off, so that way you can no longer be whole and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that to me was actually really interesting and awesome at the same time. But yeah, and then at the end of it, like him and Christina Ricci and like the young boy that I would say like adopted.
Yeah,
probably
pseudo. He says, I can be your servant. He was very adamant about being
wanting
their
to
help.
like trying to find the person that killed his dad.
I don't blame him. Times were tough back then. His mom was dead. His dad just now died.
Yeah.
His place of work everyone just died there.
Yeah.
So where was he to go? So
Right.
he was basically a non-working orphan.
Yeah.
So he's like, I gotta
now,
work.
and now it's the turn of the century because now they're in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Because
You'll
like
find
it was
your-
1799.
You'll soon
when
find
it
your
first
way,
started.
young Masbeth. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it was like towards the end of 1799, and then when they get back, it's like now turning into the new century.
Literally a year later, they'll have the No Child Slave Act or whatever, the No Child Working Act.
Yeah.
And so, Masbeth, you're out of a job.
Right.
No.
But does anybody else have anything else for the movie?
It was a great twist, great villain origin story. Like,
Well,
we
you can
got-
save that for
yeah,
like your
we just got
consensus.
two, yeah, just two. So yeah, no, I'm good.
So, but yeah, this has been Sleepy Hollow. Now is when we actually will determine this being a rent, buy, or skip. Rent being like an occasional watch. Okay, I'll pick this up. I'll watch it if it's streaming, which coincidentally this is not streaming, so I had to rent it. Just for the show, not just in general of going like, oh, this is a rent. A buy is like, okay, I'll buy it, I'll put it up on my shelf. I will love this movie, like with Kat, because it was either between this or Dark Shadow with you.
Oh, yeah.
So, because like when I asked you, you're like, well, I want to do Dark Shadow, and then you came to me later, you're like, no, never mind. I don't want to do Dark Shadows. I would rather do Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah,
It's like, okay.
I remember I wanted to do a Johnny Depp movie,
Yeah.
and I was listening to Dark Shadows at the time. I'm like, do I do Dark Shadows? And then I'm like, no, I have to start with my OG, my original.
Yeah.
So,
And then of course a skip being that like don't even waste your time. It's like Snow White. Don't even waste your time. Okay, like that whole chestnut.
2025 Snow White.
Yeah.
1937.
Snow Brown.
Oh
Well-
yeah, Snow Brown.
Well, I think that we can all assume that like it's the live action version of Snow White. So
Just call it that.
yeah. And
Please just stop, please.
who would like to go first?
Birthday girl like to go first.
Okay.
It's a bye. Fuck yeah! I have it on my laptop. I have it on my phone. I have it on my iPad.
Basically, you have it on digital.
I have it on digital, and I do have it on DVD.
Okay.
And I have. Oh wait. Yes, I do. I believe I do have the metal box for this.
Oh, nice.
The metal case, yeah.
The steelbook.
Yeah, the steelbook.
Okay.
I have that one, and I have the art of how it's made.
Nice.
So I have Tim Burton's version book of how Sleepy Hollow the movie was made.
How sleepy was Sleepy Hollow?
Hollow.
It
How
was very sleepy.
It was very sleepy. So yeah, but it was definitely a buy. It's downloaded on all my devices, and it has a beautiful spot on my DVD shelf. So in the top 5. So.
Yeah.
And I have the poster too.
Yeah. Well, like you were also going into before we were gonna talk about it being a rent, buy, or skip, of the reasons why that you really liked it and stuff.
Oh gosh.
So you were talking about like the villain, the story, and
Okay,
everything like
so-
that. So
That had a wonderful twist on who the villain was. I love.
yeah, I
when-
really appreciated that. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I really appreciated that whole thing of it being like, okay,
a real mystery.
like yeah.
A real mystery.
Yeah, like it just kept you guessing of going like, okay, well it has to be this person. Nope, his head just got cut off, so it has to be this person. Nope, his head got cut off. It's like, well, what about this person?
5
So-
victims and 4 graves. What's going on? What do they mean by that?
Yeah,
You know.
it just kept you guessing. It was kind of like with Knives Out,
yeah.
where they just kept you guessing.
Yeah. There are some movies where I've seen where oh, that's clearly the villain at the very beginning.
Yeah,
With this one, she's in front of you the whole time.
right.
She's even
You
helping,
didn't even think about
she's-
it being the stepmom.
Yeah, she's helping everyone. There's a scene where like Ichabod asks, "Who's with me?" It's just right before they go look for the horseman's grave.
Yeah,
She goes and puts her hand over her stepdaughter. She wants her dead, but she played it off so good, like saying,
Yeah.
like, "I got you. You're not taking my baby." Or,
right.
So, and then the fact that she killed Katrina's mom, she was the
Yeah.
reason why she's dead.
Yeah, and
was like,
and then you also find out that she was like the Archer family.
Yeah,
and like that,
Archer.
and because early on in the movie, she went to their old house that was burned down,
And, oh, look,
and
the
like
Archer
in
carved
the fireplace is the Archer like I don't know what you want to call it, like motif or engraving or something
Yeah,
like
engraving.
that.
It was
So,
yeah.
Because like it was in the fireplace.
crest.
Yeah, the family
Yeah,
crest.
the family crest is the archer itself.
Yeah.
And then she was like, yeah, like when we got to town, my father bought this plot of land.
And it was a rundown
And
cottage.
yeah, and so now we basically own everything that's in the town.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the movie, she goes like, I was the archer.
Yeah.
And then so
You
she
guys
then
stole my home.
then it connects with everything of going like, yeah, like you guys came to town, you guys took my home, we were thrown to the side, even though we were like basically really tight with like
we were good
the-
tenants.
Yeah.
And then my father died, and no one would take us in.
Yep.
He just kicked us to the curb and gave it to his cousin.
Yep.
Kicked us out, and no one would take us in because my mother was suspected of witchcraft, and it turns out she was a witch.
Yeah.
Her mother was a witch.
Yeah.
And she schooled her daughters well while we lived as outcasts in the western woods.
Yeah.
She died within a year. And I'm just thinking about, like, wait, this all happened when you were a kid?
Right.
And you guys are still alive. Like, good for you.
Yeah, and then also the fact that like she's like telling them about all this bunch of stuff, and then she even said like, yeah, like my sister who was the witch that you went to go and see that told you where the gravesite was, and then I killed her.
Oh, my
So-
sister sadly passed away. I was
Yeah,
like,
and then
quite
it,
recently,
and then
I was
like
dang.
that's what I also liked was like the intercut of her just like killing everybody, like
Yeah.
her sister,
Sarah.
Sarah, the maid,
Yeah.
like all that bunch of stuff, and I'm
She
like
was
that, and like her, like when Johnny Depp first gets to town and he goes to the manor, like he just sees like this couple making out in the dark, and you don't see who it is, but then she was talking about her whole plan to get all of the councilmen to be like in her pocket by like basically having sex with them, you know, doing whatever, like especially with
Blackmailing them.
yeah, like with
Scaring them.
in that point was her making out with one of the councilmen.
Oh, Sarah,
and then
that was-
yeah, and then later on she has sex with one of the other ones,
Yeah,
and that's
the
how
church elder.
yeah, and so like that's why she cut her hand when Johnny Depp was walking through the woods
I
and
didn't
found
get
them.
that part though. That's
So-
like, did she cut him to mark him to spare him, or
No, I think it was mostly the fact that he was just into that sort of thing.
well, it did make sense because that's how he identified the body, saying like no cut,
Yeah.
no bleed. So it was important.
that's
it wasn't
the
just
other
like
thing,
some
too.
random. I'm cutting myself because I'm a psycho.
Right.
It made sense.
Because then that's what she did with the maid, is that like she cut her hand as well, like after she cut off her head,
Yeah.
because it's supposed to elude that that's her, and that the headless horseman took her head.
Yeah.
Once again,
So-
science coming in clutch.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's
So
like,
it was that
no
whole
clotting,
thing.
no bruising, no bleeding. Yeah, I loved that. Was good.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
good.
the people of this generation would not have noticed that, but
No.
because he's so different, he does.
Yeah. So, but yes, you say it's a buy. Sam, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay.
So I thought at first it was a high rent for me, but I'm gonna call it more of a just neutral rent.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Okay. So
Like,
just like an average rent.
If this thing is on, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
If
It's like I'm not going
on,
to turn it off if
I'm
it's
not
on.
gonna watch it.
Right.
It's literally like it's one of those movies that has to like catch me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Like you're not going to actively seek it out, but like if it's on, then it's like, oh man, you're like, I'll watch Sleepy Hollow.
It's like
and even if it's in the middle, it's like I'm not mad about this. So
It's like a ham and cheese sandwich. You
Yeah.
know, if I don't see it, I don't want it. But if I
Right.
see it, I'll want it.
And surprise, surprise, there's a little Dijon mustard in the middle.
Yeah. And then it's like, not bad.
yeah.
Ooh, is that Japanese mayo?
Exactly. It's just it's not bad, but I don't seek it. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, still enjoy it.
Right.
But mid rent.
Yeah. I would say that it's a rent for sure,
I mean, it's alright, like...
just because it's such an iconic movie for Johnny Depp. And I don't think it's really talked enough about like, oh, like what are your top Johnny Depp movies? Like it's a really good Johnny Depp movie. Just because like it's the dark, gritty, like storytelling driven, awkward Johnny Depp phase that he had when he was early on in his career before he became Jack Sparrow. Because like of course like everybody would be like, oh yeah, Jack Sparrow is like my top like performance of Johnny Depp
character,
and it's all like
It's not even a question at this point.
right. It's all like it's just so iconic at this point in everything. Like
name 5 Johnny Depp characters. One cannot be Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, it's like okay, it would be Edward Scissorhands, Ichabod
Crane, Bartimaeus. Oh gosh, a Dark Shadows character. I forget his name. It's
the vampire from Dark Shadows.
What's the corpse bride guy's name?
Victor.
Victor. Yeah.
And then the Mad Hatter.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
5.
So it would be like those characters specifically.
But
also the other thing too on that list was the both Alice in Wonderland movies.
Yeah.
It's all like because on the bad movies list of Johnny Depp.
The first Alice in Wonderland was
because like the first one that popped up was Through the Looking Glass, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That one wasn't that good, is what I heard. I never watched it. I never watched it, but like that's what I heard.
It's a low
and
rent for me.
then I was all like, the first one's also on this, and I'm like, that doesn't really make much sense to me of why the first one would be on it. The second one makes sense, but it's just because it wasn't that well received after the first one.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
the first one did really start the whole live action Disney movie but to be fair, it's not a live action, it's a sequel to the original so that's why I think that one worked.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, for me it's definitely a wrench just for those reasons of being like you can literally watch this around fall or even Halloween and it works perfectly. But like even besides that, it's like, oh yeah, I want to watch a spooky movie. It's like, but I don't want it to be too spooky. I don't want it to be too horrific. And it's all like, well, I could watch Sleepy Hollow and be sleepy about it. So, but no, definitely like the performances were really good. You've got a bunch of different actors in this movie that play super well. And again, it's a whodunit mystery that keeps you guessing on like who's actually the one that's doing it, and then it turns out that it's actually the Headless Horseman that's actually doing the killings. But then you have to also understand of going like, okay, well, who is controlling the Horseman is the other question. After you find out that it's actually the real Headless Horseman, who's controlling the Horseman is the next question that follows. So it's like that whole thing.
Well, and that was led to that conclusion by Brahm's death. It was like he was walking away from Brahm.
Yeah, he wasn't he wasn't attacking anybody else. Like he was only attacking the specific people that he was meant to go after. And then Braun was just attacking him. And then at that point, it's like, okay, well, this is just self-defense now.
Yeah.
Like I'm defending myself as the Headless Horseman. So it's like, I ain't no bitch. So I'm not just going to let you freaking like shoot me and like attack me for no reason. Like I'm just here to do my job and leave. Like that's it.
I will say
like
that
I'm here to collect heads.
But now
your
you're
head's not on that list.
Used to be.
It's all like I'm just here just to collect your head, and that's it. Like
no, he didn't
your
even
head's not
his
even.
head. He
I
just
know.
Cut him straight in half.
Yeah, but like
it wasn't needed.
Yeah,
his head wasn't
but
needed.
I'm just saying, like I'm here to collect this person's head. You're in my way. I don't care about you because you're not on the list.
That scene was actually the first scene I saw when the horseman killed the family, and I remember like I was like, the little boy's gonna make it. Ooh.
Yeah, like when he goes through the house and like he just breaks open through the door and he's just like, rah, and just like starts like cutting off his head.
At the same time, he killed the baby in the woman.
Right.
So he's being that's
and
the
it's
thorough
and it's
part of
basically
the
going
details.
down the dynasty line of going like, okay, well we have to cut off the head of the family, the mother, so that way she can no longer produce any more children, and if they already have children,
cut the line.
Cut them off. Like literally at the head.
Yeah.
So
I actually, when I was little, when I saw that scene, it was when he, like, you see the boy being lifted out and he's screaming, and all of a sudden his screaming stopped. I thought the Headless Horseman was stuffing all of the boy into his bag, so I thought the boy lived.
No,
he didn't.
Nope, he just cuts off his head.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, that was rough. But you know what? He was a redhead. He had no soul anyway.
Yes.
So.
Oh, my Lord.
Dirty gingers.
And then now is the time. So I gotta readjust this real quick. But now is the time where we will actually talk about the suggestive people. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, is it being a 1 or a 10 or sometimes both score on IMDb of people just like rating this movie however they see fit. I also will now start including the years because I think that's kind of important to where it's all like, yeah, this was more recent. It's like, no, sometimes it happens like right around the time that the movie comes out that they post on IMDb.
All right.
So,
Hit me.
first one, we got one star rating, came out in November 21st of 1999.
Okay, so when the movie came out.
Yeah. So, it said too many movies in one. I don't really understand what that means.
Yeah,
I can
either.
understand it's like, okay, it's a murder mystery, it's a horror movie. Which one is it?
I'm trying to figure out what he means by...
Well, let's go ahead and see. Which, speaking of, let's see. You go to the movie thinking it's a horror film. You tell your friends, let's see a scary movie. I should have known something was up when a movie that should have been complete for Halloween is released a week before Thanksgiving. The movie consisted of too many types. At times it was suspense. Others it was mystery. Sometimes it was a comedy. But overall it was a failure.
It had... Okay, can you read that last line, like where he said it was...
So at times it was suspense. Others it was mystery. Sometimes it was a comedy. But overall it was a failure. Basically, it was like at times it was suspenseful. So it's all like, oh man, you're like, what's gonna happen next? Like, oh my gosh. And then others it was a mystery. So it's like, oh, who's doing this?
Why
killings?
isn't my movie one-dimensional?
Right.
Oh my
and then it's
God.
like, and
Exactly.
then also it's like sometimes it was a comedy of playing off of how awkward Johnny Depp is throughout the whole course of the movie and stuff. And it's all like, that's Tim Burton. That's literally what it was. It's the same thing for any other movies that he's done.
And
So he
I
doesn't
see
like
that
zaniness is what
I
it is.
see that he has 14 downs and
It's
14
basically like
helpful.
it's even. It's got like 14 thumbs up, 14 thumbs down.
Oh, well, it's gonna make
So-
it 15. So
Because like to me that doesn't really make any sense.
it
It's all like,
doesn't make any sense.
but they're being very close-minded and they're not being big brain about it. Like especially where it's like around this time of when it actually came out of what they said.
It's not like
It's
Hocus
like-
Pocus that came out in July. That was weird, but
Yeah, but like like he's basically just complaining that it's like it's not one-dimensional for a movie of it being like a horror movie. That's what he was going into, thinking that's what it was. It's like, okay, like let's go watch a scary movie, and then it's like, okay, why are people laughing about this? Why am I trying to figure out who's doing these murders and like who's actually behind it and stuff like that? It's like, okay, well, you're not making much sense.
you know, movies have more than one genre. I went to
Right.
Death of a Unicorn, and that was a horror comedy.
Right.
People were laughing and being
Yeah.
jump scared in the theater.
Right.
God forbid this movie does the same thing.
Right. And it's all like Johnny Depp was playing an awkward character as it was anyway.
He did wonderful.
So,
Being awkward can lead to very funny things.
yeah.
Exactly.
And then I also had this up from the 10-star rating of being back in September 26th of 2005. So we got a more recent one. Best scary movie ever. Okay, I wouldn't go that far with it. But this film is excellent. It is truly awesome. It has a star-studded cast, including Johnny Depp, which I will agree.
Yes.
Not for the faint-hearted, though, as this film mixes gothic, gory, and plain heads rolling around with romance, hilarity in a way, and filled with the hottest of hot Johnny Depp, who plays Ichabod Crane, an intelligent, yet perhaps slightly wimpy detective. He faints 7 times for crap's sake. I do feel the movie lacks faults, as it is always good to laugh at stupid mistakes people make. This film is really worth seeing and will make you scared of axes forever. It send that cold yet excited chill down your spine. It sends that cold yet chilling or yet exciting chill down your spine. It will make you want to see it again and again and even again and again.
I partially agree to that comment. I'm not scared of axes.
This actually makes a lot more sense than just, oh, I don't like this movie because
There's
it
too
has
much.
too much going on. Yeah. It's like, pick a genre for God's sakes. Like, this actually hits the nail on the head of it being like an actual 10 out of 10 score.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say that this is a perfect movie.
No.
That's basically what it is. It's like, one is like, okay, it's a piece of shit movie, don't go watch it. It's a Snow White of a movie, okay? Let's say it that way.
I think it's a good movie to enter your horror phase. If you want to start getting into horror, I would tell someone, like, if you want something scary, but not too scary, I would watch Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
This is the definition of a 7.
Right. Yeah, and so like the fact that they're talking about like that star-studded cast, yeah, on point. That's awesome. And then like it being a mix of gothic, gory, like hilarity, romance. It's like, well, yeah, like that's awesome. And also like praising Johnny Depp for being like the hottest of hot Johnny Depp era.
He looked really good in this movie. I don't care.
And it's like, okay, like that's pretty on point. And then her also saying that like his character is intelligent but yet awkward and wimpy and stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, like that to me is Johnny Depp. Like he's awkward and wimpy as a character and stuff like that. Like that's just how he is.
In his Tim Burton movies, he definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then like I would have to agree. Well, one of the things that I would have to disagree is like, oh yeah, it'll make you scared of axes forever. It's like, no, not really.
Not really, no.
Like there's more axes
more
like in other movies that will make you more scared of axes than anything.
It made me want to read the book, and I did, and I loved the book.
That's what
how much I loved it.
That's what in this kind of a movie will benefit. It's like, okay, this makes me wanting more, and there's more out there for me to actually ingest, of it being either like a TV show or a book or whatever. It's all like that. You have that outlet to really make the story even better for yourself, because like, and especially where it's all like, you read the book and then you compare it with the movie. And like I've talked about this before too, where it's all like, okay, you have the book and then you have the movie, like Hunger Games. It's like the book is way better than the movies. Well, you kind of can say that because they couldn't really use a whole lot with the movie versus the book, because you have to condense it down to like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hour movie for a book that'll take you 2 hours or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's like, and the book has a lot more detail than anything else. Like you can literally visualize in your mind where it's at, what's happening, what the characters look like, and all this bunch of stuff. Versus in the movie, it's like, yeah, you're literally seeing that vision on screen, but it's like, well, where's this part? Where's that part? Like, what's happening? And it's all like, you don't have that added detail into it.
This is actually some really fun fact about Sleepy Hollow, the book. Washington Irving, he wrote a bunch of tales, but what he wanted to be known for was writing like the history of New York. And he threw in Sleepy Hollow, not as a joke, but just like, hey, here's a really cool tale I heard I wrote, and I just thought you guys would like it. That, like, he wanted to be known for the history of New York. This big book about all the fun facts about New York. And he's famous for this tiny little story. That could be done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and like, especially for...
Don't even know where that history of New York book is at.
Yeah, and like early stories like this one is like very short and concise. Like that's all it is just like a short story. But then you have people that will actually be like, okay, like Stephen King. It's like, okay, I want to make this short story and actually make it into a full-fledged novel. Like expand upon it. And that's basically what it is. It's just like the movie and its expansion of the book, but the book is like an even bigger expansion of that. So, but it's like, if you really like, this movie, for example, Sleepy Hollow, then you can go and read the book and it'll give you a lot more of what you're looking for too. So it's like that whole chestnut of a thing. But otherwise, do we have anything else for this movie?
Other than that, it's a really good movie, a really good book. Disney did an excellent job capturing it word for word by book. Tim Burton did an excellent job just
like a portrayal
of the story. And then I can't remember the director's name for the TV show, but the TV show for Sleepy Hollow did an excellent, and I mean excellent, version of just bringing the story to modern times. So if you guys haven't seen that one, I would totally recommend watching it. It's on Disney Plus, so but
nice.
It's really spooky and it's really good. It's probably the scariest out of the three. So,
well,
fun.
Yep, you got 2 rents and 1 buy, so
they're wrong.
Take
so
it.
I'm the birthday girl, so they're clearly wrong.
Take it.
So.
Take it with what you will. But yes, thank you all so much for tuning in, watching, listening, however you guys are doing it. You can find us on YouTube and on Spotify. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Be sure to also comment in the comment section below about movies that you guys are interested to hear us talk about, whether that be a new movie that just got released, you're not sure about it, or an old movie that you really enjoy, just like with Cats being her birthday episode, or even just like a bad movie like that you just wanted to hear us talk about and bitch about. And also be sure to share this with other people as well.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
Word of mouth. You can share this around on social media. Speaking of social media, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok. Which again, I need to be posting more up on that as well. I know that I've been saying that for the last 3 episodes, but I really need to actually do that. But regardless, but yes, share this around with people that like movies, that you think that will enjoy. A couple of chuckleheads talk about movies ever so slightly. But yeah, otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.